3, 2, 1.
And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Tito Levine. This is the Impulse Show. And with me, as always, a new recent pour, Jeffrey Keeble.
A what?
A new recent pour. Like, welcome to being poor.
Oh, yes. Yes. It's a sad day, and I'm not liking it at all. Like, I'm like literally freaking out. Like, I shouldn't have spent that money to buy that part for the Komodo, but I did it anyways.
Mm-hmm. Now you're worrying about like, oh my God, what am I going to eat? How am I going to keep the lights on? Just like everyone else. And also with us, looking delicious as ever. And all we can see is his eyes like he's from Home Improvement, Lyle Keeble.
That's how I'm going to go from here on out. But also, we got a taste of we spent $4,000, got the box today. Basically nothing in it.
So you got the Lay's potato chip effect, huh?
Yep, yeah. That's exactly how it was.
Oh, the glamour life of media, huh?
Yeah. So tell us about that, Jeffrey. Like, what happened this past weekend? Let's get right into it.
Oh yeah, man,
like why are we spending $6,000 here? you
want me to tell a sad story right off the rip?
Yes. Let's get tragic.
Mm-hmm. Well, my $30,000 camera decided to take a shit. So, yeah, not really a shit. We just the power plate that connects to the brain of the red dragon took a shit, and that cost $2,000 to fix. But also in the heat of the moment, so Friday, my camera worked flawlessly all day, and come to the night show, turned my camera on, waited for the first lap finish line jump because there's usually big flames that happen. So I was waiting for that shot, got the shot, and then I was walking to where I wanted to stand and film for that whole first heat race. And then I went to go pull up my camera to shoot, and it was off. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then that whole heat race, I was trying to turn my camera on. Nothing would work. So then I for the second heat, I waved Lyle over, and I'm like, Lyle, give me your battery. Let's see if this shit works. So we switched batteries. His turned on right away. Mine was still off. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And, I was just fucking irritated at this point because obviously we have a job to do, and that's to film, right? So then I go crazy. Not even go crazy, but I panicked. And in situations like what happened on Friday, I go into like super panic mode. Like I'm like, my brain's going 1,000 miles per hour. Like what the fuck do I do? And thankfully, I work with two of the best videographers in Snocross, and they were doing the job while I was running around with my head cut off. So my first attempt, I went to Theme's trailer, and I took some of the camera apart, but not all the way apart, and put it all back together. Nothing. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I walked all the way to the other side of the venue to where we were at, grabbed another fully charged battery, put it in, and then as I was walking back towards the track, trying to turn it on, nothing. And I'm like, all right, well, I ended up going into, is it Junnex or the Amsoil? Who's the Amsoil one now?
Shearing.
Yeah, I ended up going in. Shearing's let me take my whole camera apart inside their trailer. So I have my camera all the way apart because in one of the forums that I was reading, it said that take all the accessories off. So it's just the brain and the battery. I'm like, okay, did all that. Still try to like hard restart it, try to do everything to it, and nothing wouldn't turn on. So then in my head, I'm like, all right, well, whatever. I quickly rushed because I was like, maybe out of a miracle, it will turn on as I'm going back to the track because the second rounds were starting. So then I hurried up, put everything back together. I even took out the memory card. So as I'm hurrying up, I put everything back together, and the memory card was the last thing I put in the camera. Well, in my rush, I must have just slid it in. And I just slid it in just all soft, and it didn't like click. It didn't like usually you have that little last pressure.
Yeah.
So I didn't wait for that, or I don't remember waiting for that. So then I just picked the camera up and I'm running. I'm out the door walking, like, fast walking and everything. And, then I get to the track, try turning it on. And then I went by Jeremy and talked to him for a little bit. And then that's when I realized, no, I didn't realize that. So then I went to talk to Jeremy, went across the track to go put my my camera back in the media room. And then as I was taking everything out, like I took the battery out, I took the lens off, I put the cap, the Komodo or the red cap back on. And I was like, well, I might as well just get that one clip that I got off the card. And then when I went to go get the card, it wasn't in there. So then at this point, I'm freaking out. So then I'm like, fuck, I take everything off that I had on my body, like my tack vest, my jacket, like everything, my snow pants, my fucking boots. I took everything off and couldn't find it. So then for that whole like second heat, I'm like rushing around, like retracing all my steps. Cause I'm like, damn, I don't even know when I fucking lost this card. I don't know, at the point, like, I was just like, my brain is just scrambling. Like, I don't know what's going on. So at that point, retraced all my steps, didn't find it. And, it's just, just a stupid part on my end, just being careless and rushing and, just a life experience, I guess, just to make sure everything's in. And I don't know. I feel bad because those memory cards aren't cheap. They're $1,500 a piece. But not only that, but then, we had the Komodo as a backup, and I lost that memory card. So that's another $500 memory card. And, not lost, I misplaced, I should say.
Yeah. You're convinced now you misplaced it?
Yeah. So hopefully I misplaced that one. But obviously we ordered another one just in case that I actually did lose it. But, it's just, a costly expense. Some people don't understand like why we charge what we charge. But for incidents like this, the camera taking a shit on me is not my fault. Losing the 2 memory cards are my fault. But to fix my camera to buy that accessory for my camera is $2,000.
Yeah.
So, hopefully we get paid this week. Then that's probably what I'm going to spend all my money on. So,
yeah, I mean, that's some people's, almost their full monthly pay, their take home is $2,000. I mean, can you imagine being out $2,000 and then the rest of it, it's like, oh, like I guess could go back to like, something going wrong with your car.
Yeah.
Where you've got to spend that amount of money. Like, dude, you got to get to work. You know what I mean? Yep. You got to get to work somehow. Or if sometimes that is your work and you have to spend that money, like there's nothing else you can do about it. And then now, you said you're buying new parts and whatnot and then you got to try to recoup that money.
Yeah. But not only that but now it's, thank God for paparazzi, like for lending us a memory card so I could shoot on Saturday and get my job done. But in the midst of all that, I'm like, damn, I give Tito a lot of credit for using this camera because I couldn't see shit out of it.
I remember you calling, right? Or we were talking and then you'd said that too. You're like, I don't know how you fucking film on this thing. And it's like, I don't know what to tell you either. Like, I don't know. And it's not like I'm trying to like discredit you, I guess, but it's just one of those where when I started, like you were like, oh, I was like, well, what camera am I going to be using? And you're like a Sony FS5. And I was like, I don't know what that means. So I had to Google it and just kind of learn how to obviously work the camera. And then same thing with the Komodo.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those that, I don't know, like I was pretty grateful just to even be there, to be recording, just to be, filming stuff. And I was just like, I have to adapt. These are the things that, you know, these are the parameters I have to work in. And I don't know any better. Like, I don't know, like, you know, if I should ask for a bigger screen or if I should ask for this or, you know, a handle that works or anything else like that. It's just one of those that I was like, you know, I have a job to do. It's no one like at the end of the day, I have to get the job done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter like what's going on in the camera. It's like at the end of the day, it's like I have to get this clip. I have to get these clips, and you have the tools to do it. So
yeah. So, you know, long story short, it's just like I said, bummer of a weekend. I did rig out the Komodo this morning. As you heard, or like I said, we spent $4,000 in parts and everything this week. So one of the parts were a handle for the Komodo because gotta support my homie now. No, I was just like, no way I'm gonna let him shoot like this again because, like I said, we bought the Komodo last year, and this weekend was the first time I've ever used it. So like I'm over here trying to set up all the settings to my liking and everything. I'm like, how the fuck does Tito fucking work this? Because like I'm having a fucking hard ass time doing this. So once I got everything to my liking, it was just like now it's like dialing it in. So I'm happy that I got everything ready. Hopefully, like I said, we get paid this week, so I can order the part for the down camera and have it ready for not this upcoming race, but the final 2 races. So I mean, so like you said, you got the Komodo, you got the Dragon, then so the Dragon's out of commission. Hopefully that's back by the end of the year. Do you think that like that was comparable then to when you came over and tried to play Call of Duty on like my settings? Dude, it was
what was worse?
Your Call of Duty settings. Your Call of Duty settings were way worse than the Komodo settings.
Really?
Yeah, because I could change the Komodo settings. I couldn't fucking change the Call of Duty. You're like, hey, bro, don't touch that.
Yeah. I was like, this is how I operate, man. This is how I get 20 pieces on the regular.
So now it's like changing everything on the Komodo, and now I'm gonna make you shoot like how Lyle and I shoot.
The master is teaching the student.
I'm like, all right, he's committed now. I guess I could teach.
He gets to shoot like how we shoot.
Yeah, I guess I could teach him a few things now.
It's a big step though to have Jeffrey start teaching you things. So that's much appreciated.
But like I said, I give you a bunch of credit for doing what you did last year. And looking through that fucking small ass screen and everything. It just sucks about rigging it out now because it's like twice as heavy now.
Yeah, now it's heavier.
Yeah. But it's going to be the ease of use and just easier to do everything.
So let's get into then I guess this past weekend, I guess we'll do a little rundown real quick and then we can give our guests a call. I mean, Sioux Falls. I mean, I don't want to say, you know, run of the mill kind of typical results, but dude, I mean, we, you know, pro light, it was 1-1 and 1-1.
Yeah.
It's Jordan continued to absolutely fucking dominate.
And I'm still skeptical on Saturday's domination.
For who?
Jordan LaBelle. Like he won by 11 seconds, but I still think if he didn't go off the track and enter the way he did, I think either it would have been a close finish or he would have not won at all.
Well, what do you think, Lyle? I remember you guys talking about it when you got back at 2 a.m.
I mean, for me, I'm like opposite of Jeffrey. I don't think it was that much of a difference because I was standing where the start was for the race. And it was him and Bester, like 1-2 coming into the corner. He got pushed off, or he went off the track. And he entered like 3rd or 4th still. So, I mean, like motocross rules is like if you exit track, as long as you get on safely and don't get any positions, you're good to go. And he didn't like advance, like he didn't come out second. He didn't come out first. And he got on the track. He came out like 3rd, 4th. So I think it's fine. Like race it incident. there it is. That's me though.
My question for you, Lyle, then is, so when you went off track, like you said, you got to get back on track safely at some point. You can't just get right back on where you went off.
Yeah.
Do you think he gained any sort of advantage by going off and then speeding up, not having gone through, what do you miss? Like 1 or 2 jumps, right?
Just that one jump.
Missed a jump.
Yeah. So it's like something that minuscule. Does that momentum create any sort of advantage at that point? Or is it just like, hey, we're at the beginning of the race here. There's so much more that can happen. Where something like that, you just kind of, do you even give him a warning, I guess, Lyle? If you're a race director?
I mean, if you do give him a warning, I think it's just like, hey, you got to be more cautious than what you did this time. Like, but I don't think it's like a whole like time penalty type of thing. Like, hey, next, if this happens again, like look around a little bit more. Just don't hop right back in.
Yeah.
Because it is right on start. Like it was literally the left-hand start, a tabletop and a corner. So he missed that tabletop, or he got pushed off at like the face of the table and hopped in at that next corner. And I doubt he like
I mean, for me, it's more of like, if he would have stopped instead of just jumped off the track to gain an advantage, he would have been more in back of the pack then. You know what I mean? So like he jumped off because he got pushed out instead of just like, because obviously he didn't give. So he just like, oh, well, I'll just go around this. And then he entered back in. You know what I mean? So instead of like slowing up and staying on the track, yeah. So instead of slowing up and staying on the track, he jumped off the track, gained the advantage that he had, and then entered right back where he was at. Instead of like being like, oh shit, well I got clipped, or not clipped, but I got pushed out. I just went off the track and entered the spot where I was in. Cause like Lyle said, he was second or third off the start anyways. And he just hopped in at second or third when he entered back on. Like I said, regardless, he still dominated. He kicked everyone's ass. He should go up to pro.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Even though he cheated. No, just kidding.
Yeah. For me, like I said, like if anything, give him a warning. Like, hey, be a little bit more cautious.
Yeah. I'm not saying like take the win away or anything, because obviously he showed what he can do, and that was, he dominated.
Well, and then also Riley, I don't know when, but he said his knee brace broke. So, I don't know, man, because I felt like he wasn't too far behind Jordan. I think he's maybe 2 seconds behind, like something very manageable, very doable. But then I would say about maybe halfway through the race, there's 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left. You kind of start to see him start to fall off a little bit. And then he was just, the announcers were saying like, oh, he looks tired. And maybe he was relying on one leg more than the other. And he was getting gassed, or again, that knee brace breaks or whatever. And he's like, I'm just trying to survive. But
excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think different variables into Saturday for that pro light race. But I don't know, again, for me at the end of the day, as much as, I feel that Jordan is so much better than the pro light class that at the end of the day, he still had to win. He still had to go through the entire race, dominate everybody, get the start, whatever it may be. So, I mean, at the end of the day, kudos, man. Like, you still got to win the race at the end of the day.
Yeah. Like you said, Riley was tired. Like you said, something like that. Like, it may seem small to other people, like a knee brace, but like if it makes you uncomfortable, then you are like relying on other things to like manage the race at that point. Like, all right, I can't ride like how I normally ride because of this. You know?
Well, I mean, we can't even put a GoPro on without them feeling uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So I can't even imagine like your knee brace breaking and what are you drinking?
I think it's a Red
Squirt.
You fucking
What was
liar.
that before? Yeah. What are you drinking? I'm over
Squirt.
No, Jesus. But anyways, but yeah. So I can only imagine what like Riley was dealing with. And not only that, but the track was super the track was super, super rough and technical this weekend.
Yeah, Jesus, it looked so rough. I mean, if we get into that pro race, then even on Saturday, like, by the end of the weekend, end of the race, whatever it is, that track just looks so rough. Like those sleds look like they were just slapping every jump face, every top of the jump. Like it sounded rough. Like just even like watching, I couldn't imagine being there, like what it sounded like.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, I mean, like I said, kudos to Jordan LaBelle. He's 10 for 10. Hopefully someone can stop him, or hopefully, like I said, hopefully someone just steps up and dethrones the king at this point. And and Elias, man, this kid, fucking
insane,
definitely making moves, if you will.
Dude, I was watching him on Saturday, so I didn't get a chance to watch on Friday yet. But just what I was watching on Saturday, I mean, I don't know. It was weird. And he did his, interview afterwards, and we'll ask him, but I don't know if he just kind of settled in and was just like, hey, this is a long race. Like, I know that I can catch him. I don't know what he was thinking, but it was almost like third and fourth place started to catch him then. And then he was like, okay, time to kind of turn it on now. And then he roosted the fuck out of Adam Peterson. And I like, if somehow Adam's listening to this, or like hears this, like, I don't mean this in any disrespect, but when Adam Peterson got roosted, I laughed so fucking hard because I could not imagine, because Elias went up to the top of that jump, and it, to me, I don't think it was on purpose, but it looks so funny because he just slowly went over the jump, and as Adam was coming up, he just, he cranked it, and you see all this dust hit, or all this snow hit Adam, and then you see him just veer off to the right, way off the track. I'm like, he got fucking rocked. I don't know if his like visor was up or not. Like I was trying to watch on the replay, but he got roosted so hard he lost the place. I'm like, I can't imagine getting roosted so hard you lose a whole ass position.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, you would think that Adam would have had it too with the sizable lead he had, like even in the beginning and midway through that race. Like you were, for me, I'm like, fuck. I was like, good for Adam, but I remember telling some fans who had like Adam Peterson and Emil Haar bobbleheads. And they were like asking me like, oh, what do we do like with these? I'm like, oh man, I was like, keep them, because I was like, if one of those two win, I was like, you get free tickets to ERX. And he was like, no way, shut really? Up. And I'm like, yeah, so keep them. No, I was lying. I was totally lying.
I was like, dude, that's such a cool promotion, man.
Yeah, so I was totally lying. I walk out
like so.
Yeah, so I was walking back, and I was walking towards the track, and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, I hope none of those fuckers win. And then
corn dogs, Jackie.
Yeah,
corn dogs. Yeah. That's what that reminded me of.
So then, so no, it was just like one of those things where like I was so pumped for Adam, and at the same time I'm like, I kind of know where Elias's fitness is at.
Yeah. And
I was just like, Adam has to, pace himself. Like he's going really hard right now. He still has, 10 minutes plus a lap left. Like he has to cool it. This track is rough. And then what do you know? After the 8-minute mark, here comes fucking the Viking Rocket, and
the Norwegian beast himself.
Yeah. So, congrats to Adam. I mean, as far as like leading and getting that experience and now showing like his true testament of where he's at in the pro class, as far as fitness wise, so he can adjust and hopefully, make it more interesting. And like I said, big congrats to Elias coming back from his injury and everything and doing what he's doing and leading the points championship is a big testament to who he is. So, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I was just kind of looking at the points here and, man, I mean, that pro light class, what's crazy is that even in that pro light class, we've got 3 race weekends left.
Yeah.
Theoretically, and for Jordan going 10 for 10, and I don't want to make this sound like it's like too far away, but Riley is 55 points back, which, you know, it's far, but I don't know. I compared to like the rest of the field, like Marcus Ogamar's 96 back. And then Pake 114, Anson 121. And then after that, it's like 129, 131, 169. And that's just the top 8.
Yeah. So
Like,
what's
Riley's
the difference
only,
between second and third?
the difference between second and third is 41 points.
Oh, see, like even
And the difference between first and second is 51.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I mean. Like even if Jordan LaBelle wasn't in the class, Riley will still have a sizable lead too.
Yeah.
So you can see
Maybe even more. I mean,
yeah,
you know, like Riley hasn't, you know, won a final.
No.
At all.
You know,
but he's still like at 373 and then it's 332.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in pro, Elias got a 28-point lead. And then Hunter Patton 49. And this is where I think this past weekend is where these points have started to definitely separate in the pro class. Yeah. This weekend was big because then Cody Cam's at 28, Hunter Patton 49, and then Emil Haar 63, and then Daniel Benham 65, Adam Peterson 69, Francis Beltier 71, Logan Christensen 74. So last week, and the last time we talked, 8th place was only 53 points back. And then now 8th place is 74 back.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. That's crazy.
So the domination just kind of reared its head. I guess, what do we even got to look forward to at ERX then? You know what I mean? Ooh. Like with, we got to look forward to Elias and Cam show?
No. So Snocross is putting out a triple crown in the pro class.
Triple crown in the pro class at ERX?
Yeah, at ERX. So obviously they're down a lot of riders. I think they went from 18 riders to now 10.
Okay. I think maybe 9 now that Cole got hurt.
Which his teammates back.
Oh yeah, Kern's back now.
Yeah. Kern's
but yeah, still that's like half the field.
Yeah,
gone.
Yeah. So now there's only 10 riders left. So they're gonna try a triple crown, which is gonna eliminate the heat races. So they're gonna have 3 main events, 8 minutes plus 1 lap, right, Lyle?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So all 3 main events are gonna be 8 minute plus 1 lap. The whole 10 to 9 riders all on the gate.
Oh, really?
Yep. Mm-hmm. So the point system goes like first is 15. Second is 13, and I believe third is 11. So it's going by it's dropping 2 points every position, I believe.
3 points. It's 15, 12, 10, and then it goes down from there 9, 8, 7, 6.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
yeah, and so on.
So obviously to win one main event on any other race, it's 45 points. So the max points you could get is 45 points if you go 1-1-1-1.
Okay.
So but yeah, no, I'm excited. It's definitely gonna help like I said, it's definitely gonna help Adam Peterson, who may only have 8 minutes of sprint speed, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, nothing to deter from him and his fitness and anything, because obviously he's in way better shape than I am. But I'm just saying, like, if you would have put that 8 minute race on Saturday, he would have killed it.
Oh, 100% agreed.
Yeah. But, you know, it just sucks for people like Elias, who isn't the best heat race racer, if you will. You know, it definitely helps like people like Cody Cam, you know, Hunter Patton, you know, all these guys that are dominating these heat races every time they show up. So it's just like,
it's almost like you have to adjust your cardio then to accommodate the 8 minutes instead of, because what were the heat races before? Are those 8 minutes as well?
They're laps. I think they're like 6 laps.
Okay, so yeah, it's got what, maybe 6 minutes then?
Yeah, around there probably.
So
and then you got a 10-minute final.
Yep. So like for me now, it's, you know, someone like Elias is definitely going to struggle because he's not the best. He's not the best starter, but he has that cardio with him. And you see him during the heat races, he's not the best heat race racer. He struggles during the heat races. So it's like, how are these sprint laps are gonna, are they gonna help him or are they gonna hurt him?
Well, and I think that's a question too. I think that's what makes Snocross so unique is that, you're changing up essentially the process of the race. You know what I mean? Like in off-road or any other form of racing, for the most part, it's consistent across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Snocross, last year, they changed the track at, what was that, Canterbury last year?
I think so.
Or what track was that? That Emil won?
Fargo.
Won, or like
Fargo.
He finished.
I think Fargo. Yeah.
And then the next day they just made it back to the oval because they didn't like the switchback. It was like too rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well now you're kind of messing with some of the like integrity of the weekend. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and listen, like, don't get me wrong. I get what they're doing, but this is just kind of what I'm thinking now, because Jeffrey's bringing up the point, like, okay, the heat races are, 6 laps, and then a 10-minute final. And now it's like, okay, it's like, that's what you train for. Now you almost have to like redirect your energy levels. Maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it is, but these just questions that I have thinking about race wise. Cause let's say hypothetically, Cody Cam is a sprinter, you know what I mean? Where he's like 8, or Adam, 8 minutes is my limit. And it takes, Elias a hot second to kind of like work in his cardio, or he lets other people get gassed. And then that's his strong suit, is at the tail end of the race to kind of, come back in. Does that mess with game plan stuff?
Yeah.
And then it's like, are you necessarily trained for that? And Cody Cam's only 28 back.
No, exactly. So, that's what I mean. Like, where these drivers can definitely make up some points, especially if you have one bad race. Let's say you finish last, you only get 1 point while the other person gets 15 points.
And there's no more LCQ, right? Then I'm guessing.
No. So every race is valuable. And not only that, but they're thinking about doing this for the last 3 races too, depending how this one goes. Oh,
so they're going to do it for? Oh, okay. I thought that was like,
yeah.
I thought that was going to be for the 3 races anyway.
Yeah, so they might do this for the remainder of the season. But depending on how this goes and depending on who it favors and everything, it's all going to be, up in the air. So, we'll see what happens.
I mean, like, for the fans, it's going to be awesome.
Yes, exactly. For people like us,
you said, these pro guys have like sprint speed for those 8 minutes, probably. Like almost all of them probably do, or at least pretty close to the 8 minutes. So you're going to see like all of them hauling ass for 3 main events.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the last main event's probably when they're going to feel it. Start feeling a little fatigued.
Yeah. So like I said, it's going to be very, it's going to be awesome to see.
Who is going to be our first guest today? Do you have them ready to go, Mr. Cabell?
Yes, I have Elias Ishoel. Do you want to read the Castle X?
Yeah, I can do that real quick.
Okay.
So we did actually get asked about, or so we did. Our Castle X person did reach out to us about our line read last week. So
we love him.
Mm-hmm.
So we love him, but here's how he wants me to read it. For facing the elements, Castle X has you covered from head to toe in everyday wear. Visit a Castle dealer near you or visit castlesales.com. Castle X, your performance gear company. He wanted me to sound like I was at a Monster Jam rally, and maybe I could kind of commit to it, a little more to it, but I didn't want to yell in the mic, so I was trying to hold back on it. But yeah, that's our Castle X guy on board with how we're reading it. And yeah, man, if you want some, free stuff, don't go to castlesales.com. But if you want a good quality jacket to pay for, castlesales.com. That's where it's at, man. Okay. And our next guest, we had him on a few weeks ago. He was busy. He was all over the place. He was in LA. He was in Vegas. And now he's right here on the Impulse Show. We have the Viking Rocket, the Norwegian Beast. We have Elias Ishoel.
Hey, how are you guys?
Hey, what's going on, homie?
What's going on?
Not much on the way to practice today, actually.
What? We're always catching you, and you're busy. I'm sorry.
No. I'm always busy, It's always something. It's just needed. But that will take time for you guys.
Oh, thank you.
And that's why
Elias,
we love you.
we love you.
I know.
I think we all have the same question here. I understand you're a busy guy, but we all have a question. When are you going to settle down and get an American wife?
Yeah, that's a funny question. I will. That day, if that day happens sometime, I will laugh because I've said I don't think I'm ever gonna live here, but I think I would. I haven't been like visiting here too much in the summer or stuff like that. I've always been here in the season, so it's hard to know how America is for me without job, and I haven't really like tested out like other than like racing and here for the racing and on my job. So I need to visit it more and see how it is in the summer and stuff.
Yeah, no, I think so. Do you have yourself a nice little piece in Norway, or are you just a single man living it up?
I am a single man. I have my own house in Norway, of course. Yep.
Look at you. Do you own your own car, and did you finance it?
I have my own car. Yep.
Got it.
I'm buying a new one after the season. Which one should I get? That's the big question.
I think you should get a Subaru and then finance it right away.
No, don't think talk you into financing. Don't do the financing.
Yeah.
What car do you want to get? Do you want to get a Subaru, a Bugatti, a Toyota?
It was a Toyota.
That's the hard part because I have no clue. I just want to find something cool, like different. But I went to Las Vegas like last week after I talked with you guys, and I was testing a couple different cars. So maybe I tested a Lamborghini and a 911 and R8. So we'll see what I'm gonna get.
Maybe a Mercedes Benz.
Yeah, some of those they're cool. Yeah.
I like it. So
I have a Mercedes Sprinter van back home that one I travel in the summer to go to dirt, where I bring my dirt bikes and stuff.
Nice.
Ooh, so let's jump into that. So during the summertime, you're back home, you're in Norway. So when it comes to riding dirt bikes, do you do it casually or are you kind of good at it?
What did you say? I didn't hear what you said now.
Oh, I said, so during the summertime when you're back home, when it comes to dirt bikes, do you ride casually for fun or are you pretty good?
I ride casually for fun. Like I think I was trying to be fast when I was like a kid before I was like getting to when I was 15, 16 years old. But I got hurt too much. I was like stopping and I'm practicing for spending time on the bike to be in good shape, and it's similar to dirt bike. You need to use your head and stuff similar. So I think it's good practice for that. But I was probably as fast 7-8 years ago than what I'm now. So I'm riding around. So but I would like to be fast on a bike again, like really put to the energy how I do on the sled onto the dirt bike and see how long I could go. But then you need to go all in or nothing. So it's hard.
So do you compete in any races or do you just spend a lot of days riding trails and made up tracks?
That's what I do the last year, a couple of years. I've been doing some regionals and stuff, but it's a long time since I've actually been like going to big races and that kind of stuff. But when I was like 5 years ago or 6-7 years ago, I raced a lot of races. I think it was in 2017. No, the last season I raced back home. I raced 24 weekends in a row. So I went from dirt or Snocross until dirt bike right away in the summer. So I had 24, 23 races in a row from the whole winter to the summer. So it was kind of too much. So when I got just before the winter, I was just tired of everything. So I kind of was I need to take more time off early in the summer to be in better shape late in the summer, so be ready for the winter instead.
So this season, obviously you had your injury in the off season. You know, you're dealing with it. The season is what it was at the beginning, but this past weekend, I mean, absolute domination. Like what is it, do you think, that has led to your success, having won on Friday in the final and then won on Saturday in the final? Like what is it that you're doing? Is it your trainer? Is it just you eating right? Or is it, you know, that the Norwegian genes?
It's probably a balance. It's for sure a balance of everything. I'm getting more back to myself. I feel like I have better shape. I feel I can go harder through the whole race, and I can focus more on lines and that kind of stuff. Like early in the season, it was more about just coming through the finals and just go through every race. But now it's more like I can play around more and have more fun when I do it at the same time. I don't need to think too much, and it's just feels like I can get more back to that real speed when you actually need to find those extra good lines and extra speed. I feel like I've been getting more back to that, where I have that more push in myself.
What is okay? Well, then again, and I don't want to call you old, Elias, but as you've gotten older, what is your diet like? Like what is something nutritionally that you do to kind of maintain your physical shape, to stay fit? Do you eat rice and chicken? Do you go out? Do you eat squirrels raw? Or do you hunt tigers and eat tiger meat? Like what is it that makes you so fit? What's your diet?
Just hamburgers every day.
Hamburgers and fries.
Yeah. No, I eat everything, of course, but I really like it to the race weekends, and before a race, I try to be more on the good side. So rice and chicken, like you said, pasta, potato, more clean food, more better. Not all the sugar we get from the restaurants here. So just trying to be more healthy, more better food, so you have it in your body, so it's ready for the weekend and take up the energy, save the energy in your body.
So if somebody came to you and said, "Hey, Elias, you're going to get 5 more championship years, but you have to eat horse meat," would you do it?
Yeah.
See that? I love that. I love that dedication to the craft. I love it that he's just always in a championship mentality. You're the man, Elias.
No.
So on Saturday, so I got a chance to watch the race on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I just kind of want to go over, I guess first let's talk about the track. I know you had mentioned that it was rough, but on Saturday at the very end, we were talking about this earlier, where it just seemed like you guys, the sled was slamming on the face of the jumps or at the top of the jumps or even like at the bottom. Was it as rough as it looked, or was it worse?
I think it's actually more rough than what it looked like, because we had like down in the holes, it was like ice, so the skis kind of was just catching, and it was hard to know where we were going. So when I was sitting behind, it was every time I tried a new line, it was like you kind of never knew 100% what the sled was going to do, because it was like you didn't see what was underneath the snow, so you were like catching edges that you didn't see. So every time I tried a new line, I felt like I needed to test the line the first lap and see if it was any sketchy thing. So I was going slow there, and the next lap you knew if it was any weird spots, so then you could push. You needed, like, you can't just try. Usually you can just go to another line and try, but this weekend it felt like you needed to go slow in that line, and then the next lap you can push if you felt it was good enough to push in it, or then you knew where the weird spots were. So you needed to have like a side lap in the middle of the final, it felt like, because or to be safe then.
So and then I noticed, and I think you mentioned it at the end of the race, but that race on Saturday, you seem to kind of be hanging back a little bit. Were you conserving some of your energy, or were you trying to find a line? Because you started falling back behind Adam, and then it seemed like when third place and fourth place got close to you, you turned it on and then ripped right to the front. Like what were you doing kind of in between the beginning and the end of that race?
In the beginning, I tried to come around him like right away. I did a couple mistakes there when I could have had him earlier. I think I kind of thought he was going to go underneath, but he ran outside of me. And then I kind of lost a little bit of the pace I had. So I was just sitting behind him, and he found like the good line that was kind of good out there. And I was kind of doing the same, and it was hard to find any good spots where you can pass fast and easy. So I was just going more and like looking after lines, because I knew if I was just sitting there, it was like I was just gonna sit there the whole time. So I was like, okay, I will look more, because I had a gap behind me. And then kind of I got like I was looking too much. I was like getting down a little bit too slow. And then when Hunter came behind me, then I was like, okay, I know I need to like push and go, because then I knew it was like more, we're a little bit of halfway. So then it was to settle down on the lines that I knew I had found, and then put those together the rest of the final. And then hammer time, and it went good.
Yeah, that going from where you were, like you were seconds back. I mean, I don't know how much you were back, but you were starting to push like 6-7 seconds behind, and you caught up so quick. And I guess I have to ask, I know eventually you passed Adam. A fantastic battle. You guys had a great battle, by the way. And I just got to ask, do you hate Adam? And the reason why I ask is because you went up a big jump, really slow, and then you pinned it, and then you roosted the crap out of Adam. Was that on purpose, or were you just like, hey, my bad, brother?
No, I can tell you who it is, because we were like out of that triple. We started to we started to triple single and then double through the corner, but and then you needed to go slow in that single. So I knew he was doing that, because that was fastest from corner 1 to corner 3. But I knew if I was close to him, I could just double all the way into the corner, and then he had no place to go because he couldn't double through the corner, because I took the line from him. So when I was on the side of him, doubling into the corner, he had no place to go underneath, and that's why I kind of I was just blocking his line, so he couldn't go underneath. So when he he needed to go slow, and he couldn't jump to the corner, and that's when I got roost, he got roost, because then I was going over that corner, because when I was doubling into the corner, I needed to go slow or up in the corner instead of going fast over it. So it was a different line section we did there. Yeah.
Did you get a chance to watch that at all, or no?
Yeah, I watched it. And it's kind of funny, because I kind of thought he kind of knew that I was coming there anyway. So I think that if he just settled down and said okay that he got past, he would have been fine. But he tried to come underneath me and pass me back, and that's kind of why he got screwed over, since he tried a little bit too hard, I will say, because he wouldn't have had that pass there anyway. But it's fine.
Yeah, listen, I've been watching Snocross for too long, but never in my life have I seen somebody get roosted so hard that they lost a whole ass position. So
yeah,
I mean, that's impressive, Elias. I don't know about what these guys have to say, but that's impressive.
I have a question. So overall, what do you think about the track with like the split lanes, the rhythm section around the corner, and just all the like things that they were trying to do instead of just making it a plain like oval?
No, I liked it. It's always hard to make a good track nowadays, because the sleds are so freaking good. That's the biggest problem if you take and look years back. But I liked it. It's always hard to make a lot of line choices because it's always gets down to one fast one, and we like it rough. So if it gets really rough, it's usually one line, and if they make it clean, it's too easy, and we just follow each other. So it's really hard to maintain a good track, and I feel they've been doing a good job to. Or Robbie makes the best out of it. I know impossible to make everyone happy, but overall I think it's good. I think it's lots of different we can do too to try to make it good, but overall I think it's a really good track for everyone through the classes and through the pro. I know I ride a groomer too, and it's really hard and difficult to make everyone happy and to maintain a good track when it's so many people out there. It would have been easy if they haven't had that many races in one day, and we could have had the better time to make the track better sometimes and not do too much. But when they first are going to groom the track, they groom all the track, and then when then they go the rest of the night. So it's hard when they're busy and try to maintain a good tracks. But yeah, overall I think it was a good weekend.
We talked about this last week a little bit. For an oval track, in your opinion, what do you think they should do for like oval tracks to make it fun and safe, I guess, for everybody, or even the pros, to make it like more racy and not one lined? Is it possible, or is it just, or what?
It's possible. What they need to do, what biggest thing I think is to make the corners good, because if the corners are good, the lines get good. Because if the corners are made good, then we go out from the corners in different spots, and we come into the corners in different spots. So then it gets more lines through the sections too on their straights. So if the corners are in the good way, the sections get good. So that's what they need to maintain the best way. And if they see one line is faster than the other, they need to make the other one easier, or they make the one slower. So they just need to look how the racing goes through the night and maintain it from there. So long as the corners are good, I think the stretch or the lines gets better too, because then it gets down to two lines, or we can come in a different way. We can block pass and we can come out, instead of just following each other.
Yeah, and then you got ERX coming up. What would you do for that track wise? Like, what would you like to see for that? Like, hopefully it's not like the same layout, or would you change anything?
Yeah, I think they're going to change some stuff. I've heard different rumors, but I don't know what the plan is there. But of course, they have plenty of snow there, and we have had. I heard the triangle we had there was really good, but at the same time, I think everyone is kind of tired of the small tracks we had. So since they have the snow there and the opportunity to make a big track, I think it's harder to make a good wide track there, because it's tiny or it's small, or it gets tiny when they make the track really big. So it's hard to make it perfect. But I think that most of the people would like a longer track, since we have been a lot of the ovals this year, and probably the two last races is late too. So I don't know how much snow they will have, so and how long those tracks will be. So. And for me, it doesn't matter. It's the same for everyone. So you need to come in with the mindset that it is what it is, and just go fast.
So I kind of like a future question. Obviously, you have no plan on retiring anytime soon, hopefully. And this is more of like a fantasy than anything for me. And obviously, Jordan LaBelle is killing it in the pro light class. Like, where do you think he would stack up in the pro class if he decides to move up, like maybe the last round, if he clinches the championship early?
Well, for sure, he will be he is one of the best racers in the world right now, and he will for sure be the speed to go with us guys. And I raced with him up in Canada that week, and of course he has the speed to be with us, and it's going to be fun, and I look forward to racing against him. And good kids, so it's going to be fun. And but of course the pro is more tight than the pro light, so it's different with racing against many people, and need to have your mindset it a little bit different than what he's doing now. But how confident he is now, and the speed he has, he for sure, if he gets a good start, and he can win for sure.
Okay.
So on the kind of piggybacking off of that, when do you think Jordan is going to move to pro? Do you think that it's going to be, let's say hypothetically, next year, or do you think it's going to be a season after that? And eventually when he moves, again, I'm not trying to like rush retirement or even talk about it or kind of bring it to light, but how long do you think that we're going to get the Elias versus Jordan LaBelle battle in Snocross? Because I mean, as a fan of the watching Snocross now, seeing Jordan, this is something that I've been wanting to watch since last year. So how long do you think that we're going to get the Jordan and Elias show in Snocross and pro?
I don't know. I'm taking one season at a time right now, so I'm just taking the weekends we have left now, and I don't I haven't taken any decisions on next year even. So, but because I was gonna just go through this season with my leg and everything and see how that's going. It's been going way better than I expected, of course. So I'm happy where I'm at right now, and but yeah, I haven't signed anything for next year, and of course I think Jordan is gonna come up for sure next year. I think it's gonna be weird if not. So we'll see what's happening.
So again, coming into ERX, things may be possibly changing with the track itself, or even kind of maybe the style that they're gonna do. Is roosting Adam, is that like a warning to the rest of the pro class? Like, hey, you try to challenge daddy, you're going to get roosted? Or is that just like a, hey, my bad kind of thing? I'm still going to dominate. Like what's,
I didn't try to roost him at all. I didn't think he was going to go underneath me. So that's on you, not on me.
Okay. All right. Just didn't know if you were sending a warning out to pro being, hey, daddy's hasn't gone anywhere. So
No, I'm just doing my best, and I just tried to focus on myself. And I knew I had the pass in there, so he didn't have any place to go. So that was more his fault that he got roosted than my fault, I feel like. So, so yeah.
I love that. That's a good answer. So coming into ERX, it sounds like they're going to do, like at least what Jeffrey had said, is they're going to do a Triple Crown thing, where everyone's racing, the quote unquote first heat, second heat, and the final. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Is that something that you agree with? And is that something that you think they should do the rest of the year? Or does that affect the integrity of the pro class, seeing as how it was different beginning of the year?
No, I think it's, I like that format, and I think it's going to be good as long as the track is good all the time we're out there, and as long as we get kind of long finals, because it's important. So we actually need to still go at the gym, because if they shorten downs like the hits are right now, we can start go to the bar instead of the gym, I think. But anyway, other than that, it's going to be good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What are the times for these Triple Crowns? Have they told you guys, like the length of them?
They haven't figured the 100% out yet, I don't think. But as long as, I don't know, longer than our hit races now, but I don't think it's going to be as long as the finals are. So, yeah. We will see, and it's gonna be 3, so it's gonna be a good battles out there, I think, and it's gonna be good for the fans that's watch, because it's gonna be 3 interesting hits instead of just the finals how they are now, because we're just a couple people in the hit races, and that's boring, of course.
Yeah, and if this weekend turns out like, as far as excellent racing goes, they do plan on. What I heard is that they do plan on then racing the last 2 races like that. You have any thoughts on that, or any game plans to go forward with that?
Not really. I think it's a good plan for them, and I look forward to it. It's just more. I hope it more better racing 3 times out there, and that's just interesting for for me and for everyone else too. So I think it's a good plan. As long as they can make it good, it will be better. So that's the good part. As long as they do it good, I think it's gonna be better for us and better for them and everyone. So it's just make it in the best way, and everyone will be happy, I think.
You're practicing today. Do you guys ever go through like a race simulation of what's going to happen this weekend? Like you're going to do like the three final setup type of thing and take like the breaks in between, how long it would be for you guys normally for a race day?
Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about a little bit this weekend or last weekend at the drum meeting. They were like just brought up for how it was going to be, but they kind of didn't have 100% plan on how it was going to be. But it sounds interesting, and it's going to be three finals. But I think it's going to be busy too, because right now the hit races are short, and it kind of doesn't really matter so much. So more for the finals, but no, it's 3 times where you need to be on your game. So it's going to be interesting. It's good for the fans, I think. And the important way is that they make it good when when we're going.
Awesome. And I got a few more questions. So hypothetically, let's say I
have one more thing on that one. We have actually done that back home or I'm used to that style, because when I was racing back home before I came here, when we were less than 15 people, we did that, and when we were over 15 people, we do what we do now. So that's how I think we should have, or it's a good plan, and what it sounds like they want to do here, because that's why they want to keep doing the triple crown or something like that, because it's more interesting for the fans to watch when it's yeah.
Wow. Well, look at you. That might be a little bit of an advantage there. Big fan. So if these heat races are, let's say they're not even laps. Let's say they're 8 minutes each, compared to laps, and then a 10-minute final. Does that affect your game plan then on how hard you can go? Is 8 minutes something that you're going to be able to do 3 times? Because I mean, I'm more of like a 2-3 minute kind of guy when it comes to doing it 3 times. So like, does that affect game plan?
2-3 minutes? What do you mean? No.
Please explain.
No, I think it's. I think that's good, and everyone should be able to do 8 minutes. It's not that long, of course. It's like they said, we do 5, 10 or plus 1 lap, so we do 20 minutes plus 3 laps. That's what we do now. So if we do 8, it's gonna be 24 plus 3. So, but it's at the same time, when you have just 5 minutes at one time, it's not hard at all. So I think it's gonna be. We need to have more than that, of course.
Cool. So I guess one of the last questions I have, I know we touched on it, and maybe this is something you want to talk about, or maybe not even think about, because we're still, in the midst of a championship run here. But retirement, is that even on the horizon? Is that something you're even thinking about? Like, are you thinking about like what's in the future for Elias? Do you plan on having your own race team? I guess what's the future for Elias?
It's a big question, and I wish I had the answer for that one. Of course, I've started kind of like more before the season, and like when I had the injury and stuff, like how much more it was more like, can I even come back? I didn't want to retire, but it was more like, will I ever be back where I should be? And I'm on that way, and I'm way more happy than what I think I was gonna be this year. So. Of course, it's something I'm gonna start thinking on now. I'm gonna look at what's coming up for next year too, and I have no plans how it is right now, and I kind of want to focus on the rest of the season, and probably have answer for you late April, I hope.
Late April. Do you boys have any more questions?
Nope.
Okay. So Elias, do you have Netflix? Do you watch Netflix?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you watch that movie called Troll?
Troll. No, I don't think so.
Okay, or just wondering. It's a movie called Troll. It takes place in Norway. So I was just wondering.
I have watched that one. But I think it's called a different name on the or like in the Norwegian Netflix.
Okay. What'd you think of it?
I think it's many years since I watched that one, but yeah, it's different. Isn't that when with all the different or the weird trolls on the mountains and stuff?
Yeah. Yep.
I think some of the filming is just done like 1 hour from where I live. Where they
Really?
Yeah, at that mountain actually.
That's something I've wanted to ask you. I remember I watched that movie. I was like, oh shit, I think Elias is from Norway. I just want to get his opinion on it. But that's
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna call you and tell you.
Watch it.
All right, Elias. Thank you so much for your time, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate you talking to us and joking around. And dude, best of luck this weekend. They'll be there. I'll be there. Look for me in the wig, and I'm gonna be cheering you on, brother.
For sure. Thank you guys, and thanks for all the good work. And we need to put up some fun for the people, so it's good.
Yep.
So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All righty.
Yep.
See ya.
Later.
See you.
All right. Love
Bye.
you. Love you.
Love you.
Yes. I always get so jacked when they say it back. Since I'm not loved anywhere. No, I'm just kidding.
What'd you say?
I said, since I'm not loved anywhere else. No.
Yeah. So time I get told I love you.
Yeah.
At least the racers love you.
Yeah.
Somebody loves me.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah. I like how open he is.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, very, very comfortable. I enjoyed your question to Jeffrey about asking about oval tracks and just kind of, what you can do to like, is there a way to make it safer? Is it a way to make it more fun? And, somebody like that, like I never would have even thought like, oh, make the turns better. I'd be like, there's two turns. What do you mean?
There's 2 turns.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, so it goes to show like, the difference between like just watching and trying to analyze it from a fan perspective, whereas like a driver, you're like, hey man, it's all in the turns. I'm like, dog, there's 2. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's a big factor, and it'd be interesting to see if something like that happens or changes.
Yeah, and it's nice for people to know, like when he says a track is like rougher than it looks, like that's coming. That says a lot because on the TV it does look rough, and he says like all that ice underneath that they hit constantly.
Yeah,
gotta hurt the body so bad.
Yeah, but no, it was super crazy. Like when we were talking last week about how we would make a track. And then we get to Sioux Falls, and then I'm like, oh shit, this looks exactly like what we were talking about. And I'm like, do the track workers actually listen to us, or do they listen to this podcast? Because this is totally a bad idea. No.
Well,
but I mean,
when you told me,
but if they do, then that's great. That's awesome. And like I said, for me, it turned out to be like amazing racing. Like with that battle, it gave Elias options to where to pass and everything, and to pick up time and maybe to lose time. And, it was just overall a cool track.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because obviously Friday, all Friday night, I got to watch the racing, and I'm just like, dude, this is pretty badass.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I forgot to ask him. I was going to ask him like the whole, like how he has like another gear, like where he did back off and he's able to like, all right, I'm back on your ass now at the end.
Yeah. So insane.
Like, I wonder what that's like, especially on a rough track. Like, how do you even do something like that?
Yeah. No, that's crazy. So, should we just go right into our next guest?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Well, speaking of next guest, he texted me. What did he say?
He was like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I got to get my oil changed to my car. And
he said he listened to it too.
Huh?
He said he listened to the podcast and he was all out for revenge.
Okay, well, we have our next guest. He is the number 572 from the southern part of Wisconsin. We have Nickolas Lorenz.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on, brother? First of all, let's listen. I hope you're not a vegetarian because I'm not either. I understand there's some beef here, brother. What's going on?
You're funny. No, I'm definitely not vegetarian. I do like meat.
Yeah, we were just having fun last week, just talking to your friend Riley Bester, and it's what do you got to say, brother? Were you listening?
Yeah, I actually did listen to the podcast. It was pretty funny. Riley's a good kid. He's funny. I can let him talk what he wants to talk, but he knows what really happens when we get on the sticks. And like, there's been a couple nights where I think he's shedded a couple tears and got off a little early. So we'll keep that between us.
I need to watch this. I think that's something that is going to be a wonderful viewing pleasure, is watching you and Riley battle not only in Snocross but on the video games. Are you guys more of a Fortnite kind of people, or are you guys like what kind of games are you guys playing?
Pretty much just Fortnite. I've been playing like Fortnite with Riley for like 2-3 years now, on and off. But pretty much since the year started, we both, I don't know, not really been playing too much lately. I have a little bit with my injury, just playing little video games whenever I'm kind of just dealing with, injury stuff, just because you get bored sitting at home not doing nothing. But yeah, just Fortnite. I don't know. I don't think he really plays any other games other than, just Fortnite. But I play a little COD. I mean, I've talked to Jeffrey and Lyle about hopping on, but I just never get invited. I don't know.
No, don't say that. Hey, no, don't say that. I will shoot you over my account info after this meeting here.
Well, I'll be back home like Sunday night or Monday morning. So maybe one of my off days we can hop on. I like it. It's fun.
All right, just don't think of us different when you play with us. No.
Why? Because you guys are so bad?
Oh no, I dropped 30 pieces, bro. Don't. And that's not chicken nuggets from McDonald's.
Not on me though. You wouldn't do it to me though.
But no, we do have a good time with playing. Our only thing is, so like we're pretty good. Like we're good. We have a good time, but there are occasionally where people, open their mouths, talk a little shit, and we're like, you know what? We're gonna have to say something back. Sometimes it's not ethically right, but guess what? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, you know what I mean? You can't say that in another country, but here we are. So. That's why.
Now, if we're in a situation like that, are you willing to back us up?
Oh my God, I don't know. It depends how wild you guys get. Because I've been in some COD lobbies where it's like, dude, you just got to get out of there because it just gets a little too out of control and it gets a little uncomfortable sometimes. But I don't know. I mean, I'm there for my my boys.
All right, there we go.
So it's always a good time.
So, Mr. Lorenz, obviously, the last time we talked to you was last race season, and things were going a lot differently. And here we are in the 2022-23 season, and unfortunately, they're not going the way that you would want them to go. I know last year you talked about potentially maybe even moving up to pro. Does that kind of affect your decision now, knowing like, hey, you did have a good year last year, at least what I thought you did? And then now this year, you get the injury bug. Does that prevent you from going up to pro next year? Is it going to bump it back, or kind of what's the game plan on that, I guess?
I don't know what the game plan is yet. I need to finish this year out strong and I guess prove myself. I think I rode really well at Sioux Falls. I had some really good heat races. I haven't yet put it together in a final, but it seems like every time that I've had 4 finals now, and every time I have gotten the track, I have gotten a lot better. And after ERX National, we went and did some suspension testing with my mechanic Dalton, and I think we made some great steps in the right direction. I think this week at Sioux Falls, it kind of proved it that I don't think I was quite comfortable on the sled at ERX, and I was struggling quite a bit. So I just think more finals and just getting there and feeling that pace again, just because I missed out on, half the season pretty much, and these guys are racing each other, feeling that pace, and just kind of like understanding, I guess, more. But I don't know. I think I should be able to prove myself at the end of the year, and I guess it's just kind of up to players. And I am on a contract year right now, so I know Hemmers Motorsports is happy with me, and from my understanding is they want to keep me there, and they're happy and they want to keep me. So it's pretty much wherever Junior wants me to go, I'm good with. I would like to go pro. It just sucks. Like, I dealt with some stuff this summer that kind of held me back, and then I broke my hand right away at Fargo and just had a pretty bad crash. So just, it's been like a little bit of a struggle year, but that's just all a part of the sport. And it's just, you got to put your head down and keep grinding. And I know I'll be there. I feel like I'm really talented on a snowmobile. So it's just a matter of time, like when it's going to happen. Everybody's riding so good this year too. So it's like, I feel like the competition has stepped up a good amount this year. And then you obviously have Jordan. He's riding really, really amazing. So it's been like a weird, tough year, just even sitting at home watching like how good the racing has been and like how fast I would say like the whole class of Pro Light has been this year. It's been pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Jordan, and I guess just to hop right into the question, what do you think is going to take to like dethrone him?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to take a certain track and some bad luck, or, you know, some good guys to get out front ahead of him. Like, I think if Riley has gotten some good starts, and I mean, he held him off for a very long time at ERX. I watched that race over. And Jordan did start in the back row, but at the end of the day, you looked at it and Jordan came out like 4th or 5th on the first lap, 3rd on the first lap, like going off of like Speed Hive, looking at the timers or off our transponders. And he ran through everybody and then caught Riley and beat him. I think it's just going to take some bad luck and maybe just some better riding out of everybody else. But he's super precise on the track, and he picks out good lines super quick. I don't know. Everybody, you're just gonna have to ride perfect. It seems like Jordan rides pretty perfect in the finals. That's like kind of like the best way I could describe it. Watching him ride, he rides pretty perfect. If he hits bad lines, he switches and adapts right away. And I think that's the difference between like a pro light rider and a pro. Like, I think the kid could be in pro class, and I don't think he would struggle. I don't think he would even have a struggle year in the class, period. I don't think he would go out there and be as dominant as what he is in pro light, like not even close. But I don't know. I think his decision-making is super good. So it's just us racers, us pro light guys just need to have better decision-making and just ride better. I don't know. That's just what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So we had just gotten off the phone with Elias Ishoel, and we kind of asked him too, like, if you could kind of put your fan cap on for a second, Nick. Let's say hypothetically Jordan goes up to pro next year, or even, you know, let's say year after that. How many years do you think we would get of the Elias and Jordan show in pro? And I don't want to make it sound like the rest of the pro guys like aren't up there either, but just for the scenario of what we're talking about, how long do you think we would get an Elias and Jordan show in pro before, you know, unfortunately Elias, you know, ages out?
Yeah. I've been a super big fan of Elias, like pretty much since he moved here. I met him at a young age too, and we're pretty much around the same age. And you watch Elias ride, and he's amazing. I know he dealt with his knee injury this summer, and like you look at him in race now, and it's like it doesn't even look like it affects him. Like when he's out there, and I've had my fair share of knee stuff, and I know how bad the knee stuff does affect you, and like how it feels when you're riding, and like the next day, etc., stuff like that. But it's crazy. You look at Elias and it doesn't affect him. So I think Elias is on that next level compared to everybody else. But Jordan's right there. But it's hard to say until they are like lined up right next to each other, because Jordan did race Velcor and he beat a lot of them top guys, but Elias still swept that whole weekend. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I think if Elias wants to keep racing snowmobiles as long as he wants, I think he'll still be dominant over a lot of people. I'm not saying that LaBelle's not going to be able to go in there and be able to beat him, but I think it's still going to be hard to beat Elias, period. He's just so solid.
Yeah, you know, you kind of touched on, again, you know, your knee issues last year and kind of feeling that. When it comes to Elias, you say yourself, he's so solid for him to come back from that knee injury. What do you think it is that Elias did that allowed him to kind of get back to form, to almost prime Elias form? Do you think he's like, you know, out there eating tiger meat? Do you think he's taking drugs, or do you think it's just a really good diet?
I like, dude, I don't know. I've been through the knee injuries and stuff, and like it truly amazes me on how well he came back from this one. And like, it doesn't look like he's even hesitant to hit holes. Like, he is one of the most aggressive riders, and he hits stuff extremely hard, and it has no worry in the world. I think he worked with like the Norwegian Olympic Center, and I think he worked with a lot of them guys. I think it's just a matter of like the group of people you have around yourself and like how committed you are. And obviously I think Elias is one of the most committed people to the sport and to winning, I guess. I don't know. It's just crazy. I think it's just, he had a really good group of people, good surgeons, good PT people, good training centers, etc. Stuff like that I think is why it didn't affect him as much, or he's just got that dog mindset. I mean, you see him go through the pack, and I don't even know what to say for Elias. He's a special breed, you know?
Yeah. So, were you going to continue the topic, Tito?
No, I was gonna switch to just kind of, I wanted to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's go into your weekend. And you got a heat race win on Friday, and then you got 2 heat race wins on Saturday. You know, like, how good did that feel for you, to knowing that, you know, you were at ERX to now at Sioux Falls?
Yeah, it was crazy because like our goal, like with the team, was like, oh, let's get a heat race win this week. And the goal is to get some top 5s in the finals. But I know if I do start up front, and if I get in my groove and I hit my marks right away, I will be a podium guy. But it felt amazing to get one win, and then the next day win both heats. It was just like, it was pretty unreal. But then I just choked it in the final. So I don't know. That's like as good as like the heat races. Like in the moment, it's like you're feeling awesome, but the big picture is the final. So once I did that good in the heats, I was like, oh well, now I can only like kind of go down from here, I guess, you know. So I just wanted to do really good in the final, and I ended up. What did I end up? 6th, I think, in the final. And I think I ended up 6th on Saturday. So it was close to my goal, but I just want to get on that podium and get some top 5s. I don't know. I'm pretty happy, but just still searching for more.
Yeah. So when I seen you Friday, you weren't too happy with us.
No,
I mean, I understand like our picks and everything, but yeah, you weren't, you know, you told me that you had something to prove, and for me, you know, you proved it all fucking weekend with, you know, like your heat wins and even going into the mains. Yeah, you may not have the mains down packed yet, but you definitely show the speed that you have, you know, to run up there with Jordan and Riley and Peck and every one of those top 5 riders in your class.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't mad with you guys. That's just friendly little banter. But no, it'll be nice to be like maybe one of you guys, like maybe like a top 5 pick guy. That'd be awesome. Maybe I'll be there. I'll be there soon. But,
maybe by the end of the year, I'll be in your top 5.
Yeah. No, but I definitely do want to like. I want people to look at me like how I was last year. Like, oh, this kid's good. Like, he's going to be up there in the finals and stuff. And like, that's truly where I think I belong. I worked hard. But obviously I broke my hand right away in the beginning. And then I also dealt with some other stuff from the injury, and then just had a really long summer of stuff. So it's just like, it's kind of been like a struggle year, but I feel like I have came a long ways from how much struggle I have been through. So I'm happy with everything. But I just want you guys to like be like, yeah, Nick's the guy again. But I get where I have to prove myself, and it's a tough field right now of guys to prove it against, but that's a challenge that I'm willing to accept, and I like, I'm hungry and I want more. So like, all in all, I'm not mad at you guys. It's just more motivation.
No, and that's awesome that we could, you know, unfortunately give you that motivation just by our picks. But like I said, man, I'm always rooting for you. You're one of my favorite pro light riders. So like, I'm always, and what
you meant riders in general.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
God damn, I just can't win.
What's your favorite pro rides? He's one of my favorite riders.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't want people to think I'm like all cocky and stuff.
No.
That's just friendly banter.
Yeah.
Friendly banter.
No, but like I said, I was super proud of you. I was super pumped for you, and like I said, you're like, I got something to prove to you guys, and it just, even though we're just three Indians, just on a podcast and everything, it makes me feel good that not only do you support us, but like I said, we support you in many ways too. So.
Yeah, I love my Indians too. So just remember that.
Yes.
One of my best friends growing up, he is an Indian. So like you guys have a soft spot in my heart. So you guys will always be there.
I love it. Can you imagine if they interviewed Nick? Let's say Nick, you do really well, right, this weekend at ERX, and can you imagine Nick, what has brought you back? What was that motivation that got you? And you were like, oh, those three natives that didn't fucking pick me on that podcast.
Yeah, just let it rip right on the podium.
You go and you point at Jeffrey, this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see them guys in the castle gear?
Yeah.
The ones that look like yellow flags out there?
Yeah, you see them bums?
Yeah.
Yeah, making me roll sections because it looks like a yellow flag.
Oh, shit. Does that ever happen, Nick, where you were out there and you saw Jeffrey, oh, there's a big yellow flag out here, or is that just a Melanie thing?
No, that was I heard Malene talk about it, so it made me laugh. So I had to throw that one out there. But I do notice people, I don't know, for some reason, during my riding, I can just see, I feel like I see a lot of my surroundings. I just pay attention to everything, and I think that does help me be able to choose lines. But I do spot you guys out on the tracks and stuff, so I'll throw a little flair when I see you guys in spots, whatnot. Keep it fun.
I want to wave my hands and tell you to go, but I'm scared that you think a flag is waving. So I'm all right, I can't even cheer.
Yeah,
I picked the wrong gear.
No, it wouldn't affect me like that. If I seen you, I'd probably give you a thumbs up going past you, but no.
So would it be illegal, Jeffrey? Let's say you brought out one of those big posters, and then as Nick went by, you held it open and it said "Go faster." Is that something that you can do, or I'm seriously be upset?
I'd definitely be talking to.
No, I think,
but I go out there and do it. I may do it this weekend.
Yeah, you'll just have to remember what lap that was, and then we'll look at the lap times and see if I went faster, and I'll get $100.
Yeah.
Or you'll get $100 for making me go fast.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever one.
Oh, that reminds me. So Nick, I have a few friends and some family coming to ERX this weekend, and I don't know if you know, but I'm a betting guy. So, I mean, this might be an opportunity that I might throw some money on you, brother.
Oh man, I mean, I'm willing to be your guy. You never know. I can pull some stuff out of my butt sometimes. So, I'm feeling I think ERX will be a good one. So, I feel good. We've had some good training, good testing, and put some money on me. How much you want to win?
You see, and that's what I'm talking about. Here's the thing: is I'm gonna sell Jordan and Riley to my friends and just be yeah, that Jordan LaBelle guy undefeated, that Riley Bester guy, whole shot guy. I'm gonna go with the third option, the guys you don't know about, this Nick Lorenz guy. And,
yeah, they're gonna be who?
Yeah, they're gonna be who? I'm you'll see him on the podium, $100.
$100 he goes.
Hey, I'm getting 50 of that though. That's for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about the track, Sioux Falls. Yeah. What'd you think? The split lanes, the little left-hand turn, or the right-hand turn, the indent, it being a horseshoe. Overall, how was the track this weekend?
Oh, I think ISOC did an amazing job. I think Huset Speedway is, I think there's a good future for Snocross being there, in my opinion. I think just the stands, the indoor seatings that you could buy in the track layout, I think it was really good. They did a good job on trying to keep each, the inside and outside lane all weekend. You could tell they were trying to make them work and be in as even as possible. Except for that pro final, those pro guys, they had a crazy inside line that they were taking, which is I don't know. It's tricky for ISOC to put a bales right there, because there was a bale there in one of our finals, and I do remember bumping it off with my ski, because it's just like one of the things that we can do as a racer. Like them hay bales, they move pretty easy, so it's not like that big of a deal to hit it with your ski tip and it just go flying off the track, and you can start taking like a more inside line or wherever you want. But I think it was a good track. It wasn't like extremely high speed like some of the tracks have been this year, which I like. I like that lower speed, more technical riding. I think it's safer for us racers. The only bad part about the track that I noticed immediately in practice on Friday was that sweeping left-hand corner with the whoops where Cole Couture actually ended up getting hurt. We were really close to that concrete wall, so I wasn't a big fan of that immediately right away during the week, but it was just one of the things where we kind of had to race past it, and it was an unfortunate incident that happened with Cole. I don't think anybody else got hurt in that scenario, but that would have been pretty much the only thing I would have changed with the track, was banked more snow up onto that wall or have hay bales or something like that. But it's a learning experience for ISOC, and overall, I hope we go back there. I think they could make a little bit bigger of a track. I think the start line was awesome. It was even from inside, from gate 1 to gate 10. Like Cody Cam was pulling hole shots from gate 10. I pulled a hole shot from gate 10 in our final, in one of my heats. And like a lot of the tracks we go to, you don't see stuff like that happening, just because of, I don't know if it's on ISOC or if it's, I don't know whose fault it is, and like why sometimes the start lines get so angled beneficial for gate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, etc. Like when we're at races and you see everybody pretty much line up, like first gate pick goes from gate 1, second gate pick gate 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. That's how you know it's like a bad start line, and it's just like it just kind of sucks. So for like to be able to pull starts from 1 and 10 all week, it was awesome, because it didn't rely on such oh shoot, I'm gate pick 8, which I was in the one heat that I pulled from gate 10. I was like gate pick 8, and I was going to go in lane 1, and I was like, all right, screw it, I'll go to gate 10, and I ripped the start from out there. At ERX, the last national, there's no way you were going to pull a start from gate 10 at that race. So I think it's a lot more enjoyable when we go to racetracks and you can get starts from any start spot. If it relies a lot on, the teams having a really fast sled, and then you having, that good reaction time. But I was happy with the venue. I think I hope we go back there again. I don't know if we are, or if we have another contract, but I think the crowd turnout was awesome. The lighting was awesome. And I think that's sometimes like a negative at some places we go to, where the lighting's not the greatest some areas, but that track was legit. That track was awesome. I loved it.
So with, I know you touched on it, but with what had happened to Cole was a qualifying, right? It was
qualifying round. Yeah, it was heat 1 or round 1 of Saturday.
Did that shake you up a little bit as far as like that section of the course, or even before you went out there, where it was just kind of reality check, like, hey man, like this sport, it's fun, it's wild, it's gnarly to watch, but it's still dangerous. Did that kind of affect anything at all on Saturday? I mean, clearly not. You went 1-1 and then on to the final. But, did you internalize that and kind of like what were your thoughts then?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I've had my fair share of injuries, so like I don't want to say like I'm not scared to get hurt, but I don't want to get hurt anymore, because it just sucks going through surgeries after surgeries. Like I feel like I got to be one of the most injured riders on the circuit. Like I feel like I've had the most surgeries out of everybody, so I just try to not pay attention to that. Like I knew Cole Crass, so I didn't know how bad it was. I didn't quite see it, and I seen that they were put him on the stretcher and everything. So like for me, I don't even like look over that way. I don't like to hear what's wrong with people on race day. And I think on Friday there was a pretty big scare with the flaggers that got hit, and it just sucks because it's just a racing incident. Like you guys are out there, camera guys, and it's like you guys know how hectic and quick stuff can happen out there. It's just like you can't take stuff for granted when you're out there, and you got to pay so much attention. So I think we had a wake-up call on Friday also, and just praying that all of them guys are all recovering well, and I'm pretty sure everybody is healthy right now and walking away pretty good from that. But I don't know, it's one of them tough things in the sport where no matter what, once you take off and you go, like your mind is just focused on that race and just doing your job and doing the best you can. So for me, that stuff doesn't affect me, but I don't like to hear about that stuff. Like if I don't have to hear about it, I don't want to hear about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I honestly think, you know, that's a good mentality to have. It's like, hey, like, you know, you saw what you saw, someone's hurt, you know, and then you move on with the day, and then obviously thoughts and prayers, and then you hear about it afterward, and you're like, okay, well, I'm really glad I didn't hear about it, because then maybe it affects, like, you know, your hesitancy or whatever it may be.
No, I don't think it would ever affect me in any way like that on race day, but it definitely does make you think, like, it makes you sad and feel bad. Like when I found out later that night that how bad Cole was hurt, like it makes you almost want to like tear up for the guy a little bit, because it's such like a small sport. You know what I mean? Like all of us people know each other. We're all friends. Like I've known Cole for probably like 10, 12 years, you know? So when people like that get like hurt so bad, it's just like, you just don't want to hear it. You don't want to see it. And you don't want to see it happen to like I feel like everybody in the sport's so nice that you just don't want to see people get hurt, period. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. It just makes me kind of sad just even thinking about it. Like right now, thinking about it. Like I know Cole had a really long surgery yesterday. I think he posted like it was like 8.5 hours surgery, and it was only supposed to be like 4. But all of it, like I did talk to him a little bit on Instagram messaging, and he said everything went good. So that's like really positive and awesome to hear. You see, Maylene has posted like little updates and stuff too. So it's awesome to see that he's recovering well and he's going in the right direction. And I know like the femur injuries can be pretty bad, but I spoke with a couple people that have had femur injuries, like not because of like the Cole incident, but just like I know people that have had femur injuries, and it seems like they have came like a long way with them, where like the people are recovering pretty fast from them nowadays. So I'm just wishing a speedy recovery for Cole, and that he'll be back out there as soon as possible and have a good, fun summer. You know, you don't want to see somebody ruin their whole summer like this close to the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's agreed, man. That was rough to, because Jeffrey and Ladd come back and kind of let me know just the weekend was it was quite a weekend. And, you know, just kind of glad that, you know, at least I don't want to say it went well for you, but considering, you know, kind of the stretch that you were off, and, you know, you got your 3 heat wins, and I know the finals weren't what it was, but you know, it's pretty great to hear. Going into ERX, you know, second time back at ERX this year, you know, you were just coming off that injury. How do you anticipate that you'll do, you think, at ERX, knowing that you got at least a little bit momentum coming into this weekend?
I think I'm going to do really well at ERX this time around, just because I want to say I only had like 4 or 5 days on the sled going into ERX. So that's not a lot of time. And to be honest, I don't even really care to practice that much, but like being on the racetrack with them guys is like what makes a difference. So for me to have 4 finals under my belt now and going into that, I'm way more confident than what I was going into like my first week back there. And I hope that the track's going to be a little different this time around. It was really high paced and like a little ice edgy and whatnot. And it got a little trenched out. So I'm hoping they slow it down, like kind of how this weekend you could see like everything was like more steeper, and like our speeds weren't quite all there. Like we're still going fast for what the track allows us, but it's not like we're not super high pace. Like I hope they don't build jumps that are like send us like how the finish line was. It was like sending us like 450 foot up in the air to no landing. Like that's like and I'm not bashing ISOC by any means, but that's like the classic that gets talked about every single rider's meeting. Like, hey, can we build some landings on these jumps? Because like it's crazy how bad your body will feel on Sunday morning because of them big jumps with no landings. Like I walked away from Sioux Falls like barely sore. Like, you know, my legs and quads were a little sore, but like my body wasn't hurting. And even I talked to Emo yesterday and today, and he was like, God, I feel good. Like I don't feel even sore from this weekend. And it's literally because we're not at that like super high pace, like 450 foot in the air to landing on no landing. So I think once ISOC understands that a little more, that's hurting us racers a little bit. maybe it'll start getting better. I hope so. But until then, who knows? I mean, I'm still going to race the tracks how they are no matter what. And I'm going to race and have fun. But, the Sundays and Mondays after the racing is definitely a struggle when we're landing to ice and no landings. I'm sure a lot of like the racers that do race in the pro life finals understand where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. It's such a weird thing to say, but it's hard on the bodies when you take a 400-pound sled or 450-pound sled from 400 feet in the air to flat ground. It's just like that was a big jump at ERX left inner slide. It was a big jump, and it's just hard on the bodies.
Yep. So moving forward, obviously we know that you could win heat races. Like, what do you think you got to do mentally and physically to put it together in the main events?
Just a good start. I want to say I started in like 8th or something, 8th or 9th both days. And it was a mixture between me not getting a good jump and like other people. It's so situational because like if the person next to you gets a ski tip on you, they start cutting over on you immediately and you got to check up. So it's like, you got to get a good start. And then now that I've raced a handful of finals with them faster guys now, and like I feel what those pro life finals feel like, I think my confidence is a lot more there. And I believe that I can push through a whole pro life final. Whether or not I can push through a whole pro life final in first place with Jordan or Riley or Paik pressuring me the whole time, I'm ready to take that and I'm ready to experience that feeling again. I think just being in the class for so long and like being a veteran of the sport, I feel like I'm mature enough that I can handle that right now, like right away. Especially with how much more comfortable I am than the first round back on the sled. So I don't know. I think I just need a good start, and then as soon as I get a good start, I'll know. Like if I get a good start and I fade back, like it is what it is, or if I get a good start and I hold myself right there, it'll kind of prove to people that a start is really important with how fast these guys are going. Between like Anson, Paik, Riley, Jordan, like everybody's riding really good this year.
So injury wise, how do you feel then? How did you feel after ERX? How did you feel after Sioux Falls? Like you said, your legs and quads a little bit. Do you feel that your conditioning is still pretty darn good? And then like, how's the wrist? Does that affect you at all? Or are you kind of back to being close to 100%?
On Friday's final, I kind of got into a racer and I like hyperextended my elbow a little bit. So when I woke up Saturday, I was like a little stressed out about that. And luckily we have the FXR medical team. So they checked me out and everything was good with that. They just taped me up, whatnot. And like my hand's no issues, like pain wise, but I think I do have I still don't have quite the greatest grip strength in it. I got to hang on to the handlebar a little different. Otherwise, like if I put a bunch of pressure, like right on where like where your calluses build up when you ride dirt bikes or even lifting weights. Mm-hmm. If I put like a lot of pressure on that, it still has a little bit of pain. So I have to have my hand a little angled differently on the handlebar. But overall, I don't think it's like affecting me to the point where it's like, it's going to make me ride in 10th place, like I think I can still get on the podium. No problem.
So relatively pain-free, pretty good condition. You're only down 281 points. Safe to say that you're going to be full send this weekend.
Hey, we're full send till the rest of the year's over. That's for sure. I need to get me a contract.
Hell yeah.
I like that. I guess, do you guys have any more questions? I only have maybe like one more question. I guess prediction wise, Nick, and again, I know you don't want to be perceived as cocky, but how many more podiums do you think that you're going to be on with 3 races left this year and 6 finals left? Like what's your prediction for podiums, or what's your expectation of yourself, I guess?
I would say my expectation for the rest of the year is like, let's be in the top 5 every single final. And I'd like to get at least 1 podium every national. So ERX, I'd like to get a podium. I don't care if it's Friday or Saturday. Michigan, Friday or Saturday. Iowa, Friday or Saturday. I don't care. I just want to be on the podium and I'll be happy. I'll even be happy with a bunch of top 5s. Like if I finish 5th, 4th, every single final the rest of the year, I'm going to be happy because that's riding good with how stacked the class is and me missing half the year. But like my ultimate goal is to be on the podium, and if I can win a race, that would be just unreal. But yeah, I want to be a podium guy the rest of the year. That's the goal.
All right, man. I love it. So I got a couple questions that I got to ask you, kind of something similar. But how many things do you think that you can beat Riley Besser at?
Yeah, Jesus, I don't know. I don't play any of them fairy sports like him, but but I know like any of the cool stuff. Like if we're gonna bust on a dirt bike, smoking him. Snowmobiles, like we battle pretty good on snowmobiles, so he's got that going from. That's a cool sport, you know. But like, come on now, like mountain biking, road biking, like he could probably run better than me because of my knees. But I don't know. I feel like I'll smoke him at pretty much anything other than his like fairy sports, you know, like lacrosse and stuff. I don't know. I never played with balls when I was a kid. That's
So based on that, then with that, so you think then probably Riley Besser would beat you at bowling? You know, I mean that's all balls.
No,
so.
I'm pretty no, I'm not good at bowling, but I think I can curve the ball. Yeah. I can look pretty cool bowling.
So then, you know, we got to do then. I think we got to set up some competitions, Jeffrey. Then I think to make it fun the rest of the year. Like, hey, what's some things that we can do, and we got to start keeping tallies of a Riley versus Nick kind of thing. Like, you know, rock paper scissors. You know, who can pick up, who can pick up chicks. You know what I mean? Like who can run across the freeway, not get hit, kind of stuff like that.
Oh my God. Walk through downtown Minneapolis with a Rolex on.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. I've been here. No.
Yeah, I've been here.
I think I think it would be funny for me and Riley to do like a 1v1 competition on Fortnite because we're both pretty decent, and like I could definitely Discord that to you guys. That'd be funny to watch. Ooh, Riley would get smoked, and you would see a tear shed in his eyes. I bet.
Yeah, we want videos, just the eyes right here.
I promise you, there's been a couple of times where Riley's just shut off the Xbox or the PlayStation. He's went to bed. I put Riley to sleep a couple of times.
Yeah, he went to bed.
Yeah, nightmares too.
So if I'm a betting man, right? We got 3 race weekends left. Who can I bet on to beat Jordan LaBelle? Do you think it's going to be, Nickolas, Lorenz, or do you think it's going to be, Riley Besser?
Between me and him, I think it's. If you look at the way Riley's season's been going, you would have to choose Riley over me. But I think I can still pull it out. So I think I'm a wild card, but I think Riley's. You can't deny that the kid's not rode really good this year. So, like you would have to statistically choose Riley over me. But I'm still a good wild card. So I don't know. That one's an even one. You can't call me out on something like that.
I guess in that situation too. Then like. Are you a big pullout guy, or like if situation calls for it, you can kind of just step up to the situation and win? Or are you not a big pullout guy where you're just like, hey, it is what it is. I may not be good at it.
No, heck no. I'll step up to the situation any day. Line me up.
So this leads to my next question then. What's the Mr. Lorenz, I'm not sure if you are in relations or in any sort of entanglement whatsoever outside of the circuit, but you're just curious of the snow bunny situation around the Snocross season.
Oh God, no, I am in a relationship, so but there's talent around, but for me not right now. There's talent though. Why, you Indian boys looking for some snow bunnies?
Well, there is 2 of us.
I mean, there's 2 of us for sure.
Tito will be on the prowl at ERX.
Oh boy, you might need to get a few drinks in you, and then you'll be able to really talk to him.
Man, you're twisting my arm on that one, but okay. I mean,
Give him one of your Red Bull hats and let's see what he can pull.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be like, "What did you beat up Lorenz for that hat?"
yeah, it says Lorenz right on it.
Yeah.
I found it. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm an athlete.
Are you a blonde or brunette kind of guy?
Oh, I'm blonde all the way. Come on.
Okay, brunette or redhead?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like it depends. Like there's some not so good looking redheads, but then there's some nice looking redheads. So I would say it depends if you're trying to have a wild night, maybe a redhead.
Ooh, see, I like
that.
this.
Yeah, I like that.
I like the way that he thinks. Okay, I'm going to ask you another similar question for Riley too. Let's say your mom's in the other room, right? Would you rather make sweet, sweet love to a homeless woman or smoke crack and hope you live?
Oh my God. I heard Riley's saying what he said, and that's like literally what I would think too. But like it depends. Like I don't know. Like how nice is the homeless person looking? Like are they fresh homeless? Like did they get like caught cheating on their husband? And the husband like kicked them to the curb, and they're still pretty decent, or like what are we talking?
So let's say just a traditional homeless woman, right? She's 57 years old, has had 4 kids, no teeth. She's a brunette, right? She's wearing joggers and a Riley Bester shirt, right? And if you make sweet, sweet love, she'll give you crack for free, or you got to smoke the crack and then she watches.
If she's wearing Riley Bester merch, then she's got terrible taste. So I'm doing the crack.
Oh shit! Oh man. Okay, that would have been a great way to. I have one more question, just the last one, and then we can let you go. So, which pro light rider would you not want to marry your daughter?
Jordan LaBelle. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like everybody's pretty decent in the class. I don't know. That's a tough one, dude. Like, no, I think everybody's pretty good. I'll let Jordan marry my sister. He's got to have a lot. He's got to have a lot of money by now. I mean, shoot, he could probably take care of any girl.
What pro guy would you want to marry your daughter? Like, what guy would you pick out?
I would choose Imahar. That kid is one of the nicest people ever, but he's got an awesome girlfriend. So, but I would choose Imahar. He's an awesome guy.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, if you weren't gonna pick email, I was gonna provide a scenario to where then I would make you pick email. So
I would pick Emo every day of the week. Emo's an awesome guy. Emo's honestly Emo's one of my closest friends, and I think I'll be friends with Emo for the rest of my life. Like I'll imagine when we're like 50 years old, we'll be still talking. That's the way I see me and Emo.
All right, man. Well, dude. Thank you so much for, taking our phone call, taking your time to talk with us. Riley Bester's getting me a sweatshirt. I don't know what, Nick Lorenz can provide, but no, we thank you so much for,
I know I owe some jerseys, so I know I owe that.
Oh my goodness. This might be, you know what? Favorite pro light driver might be changing. I don't know.
I can definitely bust out. I got some old Judnick jerseys that I can bust out for you three, but I don't have many new FXR stuff as of right now. And I do like to keep a handful of them. I do give them out to like my close friends, but I can definitely let go of some Judnick ones because I was with them forever, so I have stacks of them.
I mean, as long as they don't have FXR on them, I'm fine with that.
Hey, you can't bash FXR right now. You're funny.
Nick Lorenz, man, thank you so much for jumping on the podcast, dude. We love you, brother, and we will see you this weekend.
Hey, I'm gonna hit you guys with it too. I love you guys too.
All right, we love you.
See ya.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, later.
Bye.
What a good guy.
Oh,
You know,
that was a good
that was
one.
a good
Dude,
yeah,
that was 40
funny.
minutes.
Which
That
is
was 40
him?
minutes?
That was 40 minutes of just vibing.
Of,
Yep.
yeah, a vibe in. How long have you been on pipe? About 2 hours now?
Yeah, we got 7 minutes. So
Mm,
or
7 minutes
less.
till 2 hours?
Yeah.
Oh,
7
wow.
minutes to finish this.
Shut the- Tito, this is gonna be like live.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't drink it.
Yeah.
But he mentioned just to finish this podcast up, he mentioned the flaggers that got hit on Friday during practice and everything, and Impulse Media Crew, we want to send out a big get well to the 3 flaggers that did get hit. And I don't know if the rider got hurt or not, but give everyone, get well. We don't wish that on anybody. We know the sport that we're in. We know what can happen. And unfortunately it did happen this past Friday. So, to the flaggers, get well, to the rider, get well, and to Cole Katu, his big accident, heal up, come back next year stronger and faster. So, just wanted to throw a shout out there for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, no, that was wild to hear when you guys got back, just kind of on how bad the weekend was with like your camera, with the Komodo and kind of that SD card. And then, the flaggers on the first night, Cole the next night. And it was just one of those that, I don't know. It's rough, man. It's one thing when one happens on a weekend, but for that to happen, one night, the next night, and then even within your, media issues, that's rough. It's hard to enjoy weekends like that. But it's, you got to try to make, some light of it with, Elias or, Jordan, Nick, kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not to take away from those, people being hurt, but
Yeah.
that's rough.
Yeah. Nick said it perfect. We know the dangers of the sport as far as media people go, and even so as flagger people go too. So, like I said, it's not easy being out there. You may think that we have, we are living the dream, so, it's dangerous, anything that we do. And, like I give everyone from the top of the sport as far as like, employees go, or even like Frank and Carl and Haley and everybody that has to deal with that shit, like I give them super props and everything. And, keep moving. ERX is next, and, I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Stoked. I'm ready for ERX. My sister is going to be there, and like her friend, her boyfriend, and then I got a couple other buddies coming. I forgot to mention JQ's coming.
JQ is coming.
So,
What?
Wow.
JQ will be there on Saturday, so that's going to be it's going to be a little rowdy, if you know what I mean. But hey, got to be professional about it. You know what I mean? Got to show up, drink water, drink your milk, eat your beans. And that's what we're about here. Professionalism.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I mean? You gotta hold yourself to a higher standard. And that reminds me too, on Sunday when I took that picture of us, like our team, like we were watching F1, Kleiman messaged me. He's like, what's up with that big ass dildo on your stand? And I was like, it's not an ass dildo, it's not a butt plug, it's an award. And he's like, oh, okay. And I sent him a picture of it, and he was like, God, you're sick. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. So
I don't know what to tell you.
He's like, God, you're sick. You are one sick individual.
Yeah. There's a lot there, a lot to process. How many dicks do I have on the thing? 4?
You have a lot.
You got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 4.
You got a lot going on that TV stand.
I'm trying to watch a damn movie, and I'm over here looking at some big ass dildo.
Yeah.
And a couple carved up wieners and balls.
Yeah. T-Rex dicks and whatnot.
Yep. What did Ryan call them? Cocksource Rexes?
Yeah.
Well, professional. So.
But yeah,
Alrighty,
no.
boys.
Well, should we get into that little conversation, or should we just save that for another time? Maybe next week.
Maybe next week, because we're gonna have to be a little more professional next week.
Yeah.
We could tease it a little bit, I guess.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, our guest next week, you know, we're going to have to
clean her up.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the thing is too, is like we thought we cleaned it up and we didn't.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have, well, it's that catch-22 where we're trying to make people happy, but then we're also losing a little bit who we are and why people love listening to us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, with that being said, like we will be cleaning the podcast up just a little bit, but we also don't want to lose who we are as podcasters and why people started listening to us, why people have the faith that they do in us. And even just, you know, we don't want to be where people are scared to not tell us shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so, some people may think that the way we talk and everything may be hindering us from maybe growing as far as like having Castle X involved or having Vision Wheel involved or having Skidoo involved or anybody, you know, in that sense. And, you know, our goal is, you know, to become the #1 podcast, you know, in our sports that we do, you know, snowcross, off-road. That's it. But no. But also to grow. And, you know, like you know, I'm willing to listen to everyone's concerns and try to do our best to, you know, get them to listen, to get them to share, because like I said, this is a small world of snowcross and off-road, and we need to be able to come together, grow the sport, share this sports, and, you know, just continue to grow. Like I said, like there's not many people that can get Elias on or even Nick Lorenz to talk about certain stuff and everything and get their 2 cents, you know. And it's just like, it's amazing how far we've come from episode 1 to episode 39. I think we're on somewhere around there, but you know what I mean? So it's crazy. We're evolving, you know. Shameless plug, check out our YouTube, you know, go subscribe to our YouTube. We're going to be putting out content, maybe even putting out Rush. You know, we're leaning more towards like how to grow this sport, and we're trying our best. You know, we're not here to shame anybody. We're not here to make anyone uncomfortable or anything. We're just trying to get more eyes on the stuff that we love to do, the stuff that pays us, and, you know, and to keep growing, you know. So, again, if we have offended anyone, you know, we apologize. Like I said, this is just who we are as people. You know, we're still learning. We still want to know about Tito's sex life, or not even sex life, but love life, we should say. His love life and you know, and the crazy stories that he has, and just the stuff that we have. You know, we want you guys to enjoy our lives as well. Like, we're an open book. We will never not tell you anything. You know, this is just how we talk. You know, when we don't talk for a day, these are the stories that pop up. You know, and this is how true we are to you guys. Like, so, and that's how we really talk to each other. So, you know, it's just unfortunate, you know, we have, you know, hundreds and thousands of listeners listening to us, and instead of just 3 of us, when there is just 3 of us in a room talking. So, you know, so enjoy what we have. You know, we're trying our best. You know, again, like, we lost money this year, you know, putting all of our efforts into this stuff. So, you know, we're just trying to have fun with it. We're trying to enjoy it. We're trying to, you know, get information to you guys. And like we said, for next week, you know, we have a big guest coming on where we definitely have to clean up a little bit, but, for the most part, I think you guys will enjoy it. It's, according to Tito, it's my great white buffalo that I want on. So
yeah. I was gonna say white whale, but
yeah,
it's kind of the same thing. The
whale tail.
and I do want to clarify. So Jeffrey did say hundreds and like 1,000 like listeners, not hundreds of thousands. Listeners.
Oh yeah.
So because I was like, oh shit, really? We're getting that? And then I was like, oh wait a minute, he said 100. Yeah. So, yeah,
no,
hundreds.
You know, we you know, like I said, let's just keep growing. You know, let's like I said, let's support each other. There was a Instagram post that stated everything that we are doing. And the only way we could grow our sport is support the people that are actually doing it. And like I said, if someone else wants to build up a podcast, I'm down to support them too, or if they're down to make a documentary, I'm down to help them make it, So like I said, we're all in this together. Let's keep growing, man. Let's take over this world. Let's let the world see how cool these two sports are.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, man, as long as these sports are here, man, we're gonna have a job. So it's like, whatever can help grow it, whether it's us, whether it's someone else that we can help contribute, as long as they're around, we're gonna have a job and we're gonna have that, dream scenario of us being able to do this for a living. So, we're down for that too.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, take us out, Tito.
Alrighty, boys. Well, darn good podcast. Started out with camera tragedy and ended with a good guest. So I'm excited for next week. Like I said, it's a big guest, possible guests. We're gonna kind of clarify some things this weekend, and look for an Instagram poll on Sunday or Monday for Impulse Media. And then you might get the gist of why or who our guest might be. And no, man, we're excited. And we will see you guys next week. I'm Tito Labine, the Impulse Show, and I'm with Jeffrey and Lau. Thanks, guys.
Bye.